AITA for telling my daughter and granddaughter that they better not act up in my house. So I, 60F, am a mother of 3 children: Betty, 40F, Ethan, 36M, and Cindy, 30F. I got married at 18 and was a SOM for a really long time, after which my husband and I started a small restaurant together which over the years flourished well. All my children got good jobs and settled in their lives well. My eldest daughter Betty, however, had her first child Nora, 17F, when she was 23 and decided to be a SOM. I wasn't very happy about her choice, but it was her life, so I let it be, as my son-in-law was a gem of a person. Well, we found out Betty had an affair with one of my son-in-law's friend years ago, but he left her and went to a different country for job. Later she found out she was pregnant, but since she was dating my son-in-law nobody suspected anything. Well, Nora wasn't his daughter, and truth came out after some blood tests had to be conducted for some checkup, but the blood group didn't make sense. My son-in-law got a paternity test and sure enough Nora wasn't his daughter. He divorced Betty, which was really not in her favor as she was practically homeless with Nora. Even though I did not want to, but still I had to bring them in my house and decided to pay for Nora's remaining education's fees as well. The thing is, Nora is an extremely bratty and disrespectful person. She wasn't really disciplined by my daughter and doesn't understand the harsh realities of the world. There were so many things which I didn't like about her lifestyle, like her choice of clothes, or the way she talks, or the fact she doesn't help around the house or restaurant at all, but since it's her life I let it be. One day she brought her friends to the restaurant and they were being extremely loud, so I told one to Nora and scolded her to not make so much noise and that others are getting disturbed. To this she rolled her eyes and then whispered to herself, saying, "Gosh, such a petty witch." I had enough of her disrespect and immediately asked her friends to leave. I then took Nora back to home and sternly asked about what she said. At first she denied saying anything, but then I told her how this petty witch was the one to help them out when nobody wanted to as a consequence of her mother's actions, how I am the one who is making sure she didn't have to drop out of college or even have to take student loans. I told her that she better not act up or I'll just kick her out then and there. She started crying and locked herself in her room. When my daughter came back from her part-time job, she went to Nora and saw her crying, who then told everything to her. Betty came to me furious and started saying how I was too harsh on her and that she is just a kid who is still dealing with the loss of a father figure. I was so done with her entitlement that I yelled at her, telling her I was still her mother and she had no right to raise her voice at me. I admit I did say some not very nice things, but felt like she really needed to see how badly she messed up her life and is messing up Nora's life as well. At last I told her that both her and her daughter better not act up or I'll kick them out of my house then and there. After thinking for some time I told them that Nora would have to work in the restaurant part-time and even then I would only be paying for half of her tuitions. As for Betty, she would have to start paying for rent. She was saving her money to rent a new apartment, so I didn't ask for any rent, along with their own groceries and other utilities, and she would also help me with the restaurant. Both are giving me the silent treatment, but I couldn't care less. They have been coddled way too much and I will not take their shit anymore. However, I still feel that maybe I might be a bit harsh with the things I said to them.